I would like to call to order the Board of Education meeting of March 3, 2026. The board will now hear comments on closed session agenda items. Members of the audience must submit a blue speaker request form before the meeting begins. Members who wish to provide public comments via Zoom must indicate their intent before the meeting begins by selecting the raise your hand button. We are finalizing the list of speakers who wish to address the board related to closed session topics. If you are joining us via Zoom, please use the raise hand reaction now. To remain consistent with those attending in person, we will only recognize those with their hands raised now, and we will not add any further speakers to the queue once we begin. The board will now respond to a question posed by those making public comments. Two minutes? You'll have 2 minutes. Thank you.
All right, first speaker is Noor Sabrano.
With the mic. The mic.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, school board. My name is Noor Sabral. I'm a third grader at Delane Easton Elementary School. I have been here since TK, and Mr. Harris is my third principal. I am here to ask you to bring Mr. Harris and Miss V back for another school year. I make mistakes all the time, but my parents tell me it's okay as long as I learn from them. Can you give Mr. Harris and Miss V a chance to learn from their mistakes they may have made? Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. I look forward to joining you up there as a student board member.
Okay, next speaker is Vanessa Hernandez.
Hi. Under the circumstances of which we are here today, I'm still very excited to be before you. Thank you for giving me a moment. If you wouldn't mind, I come before you today to express myself as a previous board member, as a PTC president, but most importantly, specifically for today, as a concerned parent. I had the gracious opportunity of being asked for my insight on the newest principal, also known as the third one we've had in the past 5 years. I was delighted once Mr. Harris' interview was complete. This person is very agreeable. He's got a great background with transparent referrals. He's putting the students first in every way possible, not these ways that he's explaining himself, but naturally I had my reservations then. I'm very delighted to say that I was wrong on all accounts with all of my reservations. He's been nothing short of amazing to work with, to see with our students, and to see with our staff. When I first entered the community of Easton about 5 years ago, I had a chance to have a one-on-one with our then teacher who had also reservations about admin coming in and out of the office as a revolving door. Unfortunately, that is the same case that we find ourselves here today. If what we're trying to do is continue to build on our solid foundation that is the Easton community, why are we begging for our leadership roles to be respected and not treated as disposable? If our admin is to be the face and extension of our district office, what is the district doing in order to sustain our admin positions and to ensure that they are fully prepared to meet their goals? What support is given when situational needs are expressed in order to retain a shared vision and evolve? Are our admin and staff feeling dignified here? Do they feel belonging and wanted on campus every day, as our students should also? These are the questions that we have, and we want to make sure that everyone is being seen and considered. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Preet Kaur Sabharwal.
Good evening, members of the school board and district staff. My name is Preet Kaur Sabharwal, and I stand before you not only as a proud product of this district, but also as a parent of a third grader currently enrolled here. Over the past few weeks, parents, students, and staff have sent emails and come before you to express our deep concern about the decision for our principal not to return next year. Tonight, I ask that you truly reflect on both the facts and the voices that you've heard. As you, the entire board, prepare to deliberate, I ask that you ground your votes in facts, fairness, and integrity. Your responsibility is to carefully and objectively examine all evidence, ask thoughtful and thorough questions, examine documented challenges alongside documented progress, evaluate support structures and systemic barriers to growth, and ensure the district has provided full and accurate information as missing details have been brought to light in this process before. If at any point you feel there's not enough clear information to make a fully informed decision, I urge you not to rush to judgment. Decisions of this magnitude deserve clarity, care, and deliberate thought. Each of you took an oath to serve this district with integrity. I respectfully ask that your deliberation and your vote reflect both the oath you took and the responsibility it carries. Let your decision be guided by facts, evidence, and long-term best interests of our students, not by alignment, convenience, or pressure. The decision is not just about one person. Decisions like this define the culture of our district, our schools, and the trust our community places in the board. Acting without full information or letting alignment or convenience outweigh facts is a disservice to our students who depend on you. Please don't take the impact of your vote lightly. You have all stated that you put students first. Tonight, I ask the entire board to demonstrate that commitment. The students, family, and staff of this district are counting on you to get this right. This moment demands courage, clarity, and integrity. Thank you.
Thanks.
Next speaker is Salisa Wong.
Good morning, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I'm Salisa Wong. I have a first grader and third grader at Easton Elementary School. As I've mentioned in the previous board meeting, our children don't understand contracts and politics. They understand who makes them feel safe and who's there for them. Mr. Harris has earned the children's love and trust. He exemplifies the stability in leadership, and our children deserve that. Your role as board member is not to simply rubber stamp administrative recommendation. Your role is oversight, transparency. If these leaders are being removed, the community deserves to know the objective criteria used to define fit. Leadership is just not a vibe. To vote in favor of this recommendation based on a subjective phrase like not a good fit, while ignoring the overwhelming support of the people you represent, is breach of public trust. We're asking you to demand transparency from the district office and vote no on this recommendation until clear, evidence-based case is made to this community. Thank you.
Next speaker is Sharad Sabharwal.
Good evening, members of the board. I want to sincerely thank you for your commitment and due diligence as our elected representatives. The decisions you make have profound impact on our community and our children, and I appreciate the thoughtful consideration you bring to these responsibilities. I'm also grateful that you made the effort to meet with Matt and get to know him personally rather than relying solely on others' opinions. I want to emphasize that disagreeing with district leadership on this decision does not make you adversaries. It is not only acceptable, but sometimes necessary to have differing viewpoints as we seek the best path forward. Healthy debate, independent judgment are essential to good governance. Your willingness to listen, investigate, and make up your own minds reflects the integrity and independence of our community expects and deserves. I have full confidence with your dedication and careful thought. The board will make the right decision for our school and our families. Thank you again for your service.
Thank you.
Next is Angelica Hurtado.
Hello, board members and district staff. Thank you for taking the time to listen to everyone. I don't think what you have is an easy job ahead of you, so I'd like to start by saying thank you. I'm specifically concerned about general administrative transparency in the district, specifically around the documents and events that happened over the last couple of weeks in public forum. So the meeting here on February 17th, and then the subsequent superintendent's meeting on February 18th. And those two meetings, what came up and why I brought up some concerns around transparency, there's a signed petition by the teachers, the majority of teachers, so I heard, that supports Principal Harris. And less about the personnel decision, because I don't presume to understand what you guys may have read or have not read. I'm more concerned about the transparency and the handling of the information. I'm also very concerned about how that impacts the overall turnover and those actions that follow that. So whether it's Principal Harris or someone else, in this case, we're talking about someone who's well supported by the community, that decision is not to be taken lightly. There's reputation at stake. There's overall kind of disconcern and mistrust of the community that you support and plan to serve. The second kind of pillar outside of transparency that has brought me a little bit of concern is the turnover because of all those implications. I'm also growing increasingly more nervous around the students and the student priority. We say one thing and we do something else. I've only been in this district, well, I've lived here for my entire life, but I've only had in this district my child for the last 2 sessions. She's been in private school before then. And so her support of Mr. Harris is strong, but she's had 2 principals in the last 14 months that she's been in the district. So I'd urge you to try to look at that. And then the last point I think I want to make is around faculty. Faculty support is key. As the faculty goes through, do you want me to finish there or just, because I could support it?
Yes,
You want me to finish?
yes, please
Oh,
finish.
the faculty goes through a number of changes, and each time they go through that, they have to build confidence, set a new plan, rebuild the culture, communicate to the parents, and try to form this long-term commitment around culture and parents and communication every time a turnover happens with the administration. So I would ask you to not take that lightly and think about all those pillars as you make your next decision. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Jess Strapsy.
Sorry, I'm a little short. Good evening, board members. As a parent, a staff member, and someone who has lived in this district my entire life, I ask you to pause and consider this. Every decision about school leadership shapes students' learnings, their sense of safety, and the trust that this community places in all of you. Your oath that you took and your role under your governance standards is to act with care, independence, and accountability. When stability is disrupted, students lose continuity and trust erodes. Before finalizing the recommendation regarding Mr. Harris's contract, I ask you to intentionally consider, does this reflect careful, independent judgment? Does this truly prioritize students' well-being above all else? Remember the staff who signed the support, the families who spoke up, and the students who found courage to speak before you today. The community will remember not just the outcome, but whether this board acted with care, independence, and integrity. And for that, I thank you all.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Neha Sharma.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Neha, and I have a 3rd grader and a TKer in the district. And I just want to state that we stand before you not in anger, but in deep concern and deep commitment to our school community. tonight's decision, it's not simply about one individual. It's about stability, it's about trust. It's about whether the lived experience of students, families, teachers, and staff matters in the decision that's shaped our schools. The strength of district is not shown in how quickly it removes leaders, it is shown in how carefully it evaluates the impact. It is shown in how you are entrusted with governance, not just with authority. Governance requires consistency, transparency of the process, accountability, and an understanding that schools are ecosystem. We ask you to pause and consider operational impact, moral impact, student stability impact, and long-term trust impact. Strong district boards do not ignore unified voices from campuses. Rather, strong boards ensure that leadership decisions reflect the lived reality of the communities they govern. Your duty is oversight. We expect accountability, alignment with the district goal, and transparency in your decision. Our community is engaged, informed, and watching. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Michelle Parnella.
Good afternoon, Board. I'm going to make it brief. This is somewhat related to some of what the Easton parents, as you are all aware, there was a community meeting hosted with the Easton parents and the superintendent and some of the staff members. One of the things that I want this board to consider as you go into closed session, one of the items that is missing from closed session, and as a former trustee, is superintendent evaluation. That's an agenda item that has been a standing agenda item for decades. And the reason that it's a standing agenda item is because when discussions like this come up, and then there's meetings that happen out in the community, things happen out there that need to be addressed. There was a meeting, and I don't know if you were aware of this, Superintendent, but it was recorded. And you made some comments that were very concerning. As a community member, as a former trustee, if I was sitting up on that dais, you and I would be having a conversation in the hallway. So that being said, this board needs to consider that. Those comments were recorded, and you're about to make a decision on an employee. There's some exposure there. So keep that in mind. That agenda item, Madam President, you're the one setting the agenda, not the superintendent. He works for you. Keep that in mind. Thank you.
Next speaker is Lillian Kim.
Hello, my name is Lillian. I am a second grader at Easton. We had 3 principals. 2 principals already left, and I don't want this principal to leave. 2, Mr. Harris comes to my class and he plays music on Fridays. No other principal has done that to our school before. So those are reasons why I want to keep Mr. Harris as principal. Thank you.
Thank you, Lillian.
Next speaker is Monica Kim.
Okay, good evening, board and superintendent. I appreciate your time to read our emails and comments today. My name is Monica Kim, and I'm a parent to a 2nd and 4th grader at Delane Easton. In 5 years, we've had 3 principals. While we were sad to see Mr. Packham go, you did an excellent job with recruiting Mr. Harris. He fit right in at the school and is firm, he's fair, and incredibly present. He greets kids every morning, rain or shine, and directs drop-off traffic. He also attends weekend student performances. And those are reasons why I'm disappointed that this admin team is not being retained. Constant leadership turnover is disruptive to our students and damaging to morale at the school. Please prioritize our students' ability and their stability over unnecessary administrative reshuffling and keep the admin team at Easton. I don't know personnel matters, But if you do feel this is the right move for the students and the school, then please consider what needs to be done and what needs to be fixed to retain top talent and minimize disruptions like this for our community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Nitya Krishnan.
Hi, good afternoon, board members, superintendent sir, and staff. I'm a parent of a second grader at Easton and also the secretary of PTC. As you all have heard at the previous meeting as well as the sessions now, Mr. Harris and Miss King are not popular, but really trusted and reliable admins of our school. They have essentially like cultivated a sense of authority as well as being present for the kids and the community. One of the main goals of an admin team has to be how they serve the students, the parents, and the teachers. I believe that a petition from the teachers that was submitted last time has not reached the board. I hope that it has now. And as you all can see, this has been a really big support, and a big part of the admin's goals should be to make sure that they have been able to cater to all of these communities, and sounds like our admin team is an A+ team there. So what is really lacking? If you make the decision to let go of this team, who is going to be a good fit? Is this a problem with the system? What is the guarantee that the next admin team is going to be sent away in the next 6 months? So, and stability is absolutely key, especially for elementary kids. Like if they see a reliable leader and then they're let go in 6 months, then what sort of an example are we setting for our kids? So please consider all our voices as you vote today. Thank you so much.
Next speaker is Ashwini Suresh.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ashwini. I have a kindergarten at Easton. First of all, thank you, board members, for giving me another chance to speak today. As much as there is heroism in challenging the status quo, we should not be rocking the boat, especially a boat that is working so well for our kids and community as a whole. Any other skill apart from that needs adequate training and support from your side to the principal and the vice principal. Another point I want to bring up here is, I'm not sure how many of you checked, but the grade school ratings have gone up from 2025 to 2026. It might mean nothing to this board here, but it is a marker for outsiders to come into our school district. It is also a marker for the private school kids and their parents to move into our school district. So with such exceptional educational background that Mr. Harris has and a rich experience, he is not just an asset to the school, but also the school district. So I once again humbly urge this board to retain the current principal and the vice principal for the foreseeable future. Thank you.
We have speakers on Zoom. First speaker on Zoom is Navi Delawal. You can speak now.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can.
Hi. Good evening, members of the board and district staff. My name is Navi. My son is in 5th grade at Delaney Easton Elementary. So I'm usually not the parent who speaks at these kinds of forums. This is my first time attending. And my son's almost out of elementary school. I won't have any other children attending Easton. So this decision won't directly impact my family for much longer, but I'm dialing in tonight because I really feel passionate about the students that remain. And I feel that removing Principal Harris is simply unjust. As everyone else has said, right, this community has suffered through constant administrative turnover for years. And for so many years, I stayed quiet. I have a busy job. I'm not as involved as I probably should be. I just assumed those changes were for the best. But I've decided to get involved, and I'm pushing back now because Principal Matt Harris has finally provided the stable leadership that our kids desperately need. He genuinely cares about the students and puts them first. He's incredibly approachable. I've had a few interactions with him that have been really, really positive and pleasant. He's really open to feedback. He consistently provides busy parents like me with valuable updates that we never received before. So it's deeply concerning to me that you're voting on his removal tonight with no real reason given other than like a hasty, vague claim of he's not a good fit, especially considering that he just had a positive mid-year review. I mean, to be honest, this whole vote sounds purely political, and it is concerning, especially given that crucial information supporting Principal Harris from 27 teachers was withheld within the past. And it's been tough, honestly, to explain this whole saga to my fifth grader, especially given everything else that's going on in the country right now. So I strongly urge you to do the right thing for our school, vote to keep Principal Matt Harris tonight, and please protect the leadership that Delane Easton deserves. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, the next speaker is Sarika Wood on Zoom. You can speak now.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, great. Good evening, board members and Superintendent Thompson. My name is Sarika Wood. I am a parent at Delane Easton of a TK student and a third grader. I haven't had a lot of experience with schooling in the US. I wasn't brought up in the US, but my experience with Mr. Harris has been overwhelmingly positive. I appreciate that you're taking the time today to hear from us and you've responded to many of our emails. And as you're all aware, that support that I'm speaking of for Mr. Harris is not unique to me. There's an overwhelming support from parents and students to retain the current admin leadership at Delane Easton. Mr. Harris has provided the stability and community that our kids deserve, and he leads by example. He's someone who's physically present. We see him in the mornings, we see him in the afternoons when we pick our kids up. He's also a transparent communicator, which is not something that I experienced before at Delane. He genuinely cares about the students, and he supports their social and emotional growth. He engages directly with them. This is so important for kids at elementary school level. I'm not suggesting that the board discount the district's reservations, but please take into account all of the support and information that parents and students have shared with you when you weigh this decision. Whatever the shortcomings that were shown this year by this admin team, keep in mind that given all of the overwhelming support, we believe they deserve an opportunity to overcome these challenges next year and be able to continue to grow with the school. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. The board will now convene to close session. The board will now convene open session and report out from closed session. Open session of the Board of Education meeting is live on YouTube. Visit NHUSD Board of Education webpage for the link. Relative to closed session item 3.A pursuant to Education Code section 44929.21B, the board took action by a 4-to-1 vote to release 8 certified teachers, with Trustee Freeberg dissenting. The board also took action pursuant to Education Code section 44929.21 by a 3-to-2 vote to release 1 certified principal, with Trustee Freeberg and Trustee Kumar dissenting. Relative to closed session item number 3B, the board took no action. Members of the community may submit public comments to the board via email and public comment at nhusd.k12.ca.us before each meeting. The board received 5 public comments via email for tonight's meeting. Members of the audience may address the board on any school-related matters that are not on the agenda during agenda item number 6 or on the agenda during agenda item number 7. Members of the audience must submit a blue speaker request form before the meeting begins. Members who wish to provide public comments virtually via Zoom must indicate their intent before the meeting begins by selecting the raise hand button. We are now finalizing the list of those who wish to address the board tonight. If you are joining via Zoom, please use the raise hand reaction now. To remain consistent with those attending in person, we will only recognize those with their hands raised now, and we will not add any further speakers to this queue once we begin. The board will not respond to questions posed by those making public comments.
Okay, we have several speakers on non-agenda items. The first is Neha Sharma. Oh, shoot, I'm sorry, we skipped right. Sorry, we have to take care of a couple other items first. Hang on.
Sorry, Neha. So, Pledge of Allegiance, Neha, sorry. Trustee Gonzalez, please lead it. Please rise for pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Someday.
Roll call, please.
Here.
Here.
Here. Here.
Here.
Here. Thank you. May I have a motion and second to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Now, land acknowledgement. Would someone like to? Do we have someone to read? What? Thank you, Trustee Gonzalez.
We want to open up this meeting by acknowledging with respect and love that the land that we are on today is the traditional ancestral homeland of the Ohlone Chochenyo First People. We recognize and thank the Ohlone people as the original stewards of this land. Indigenous people must not be spoken about in the past context as if they left on their own accord, when the real causes were white supremacy, manifest destiny, and U.S. colonization. By recognizing we stand on occupied indigenous territory of the Ohlone people, we recommit ourselves to listen to Native leadership and stand in solidarity with people struggling against systems of oppression throughout the world, past and present.
Thank you, Trustee Gonzalez. Now, public comments on non-agenda items.
Okay, now we're ready. The first speaker on agenda items is Neha Sharma.
It's Neha.
Sorry.
I don't know what to say. While we are deeply disappointed in tonight's decision, we want to thank board members Shruti, Shamsa, and Melanie for listening to our community and making time for us. It matters a lot. You guys, came to the school, talked to Matt, or responded to each of our emails and talked to us, to the full board. This decision may be final for now, but this conversation is not over. Leadership, accountability, transparency, and alignment with district strategic plan still matter to the community. We are engaged, we are informed, and we will continue to pay close attention to how you carry out governance responsibility moving forward. You'll see me a whole lot here, so thank you.
Thank you, Neha.
Next speaker is Preet Sarvahal.
Good evening, district staff and board members. Thank you for your time again today. I want to start by thanking Trustee Kumar, Trustee Freeberg, and Trustee Rafay for your time and your patience, for listening to the parents, the staff, the students, and also meeting with Matt and doing your due diligence in gathering all the facts. The results of the vote tonight are disappointing, but what is far more disappointing is exposure of deeper systemic issues. Multiple elementary schools across the district are experiencing the same patterns. This revolving door must stop. This points to a larger systemic issue, one that appears to be rooted in hiring processes and district level management. If there are gaps in hiring, onboarding, mentoring, or evaluation systems, those need to be addressed at the district level. Our children should not bear the consequences of adult level management problems. District leadership continues to emphasize dignity and belonging as district priorities. But dignity and belonging must extend to everyone in our system, including our administrators. District leadership should model the same investment in admin that teachers model for students. When my daughter struggles or students struggle, we don't remove them, we support them. We need to provide the same level of coaching and structured plans for our admin. As we decide to bring on a new admin to Easton, we hope that we are a part of that process and that we address some of these systemic issues that keep coming up. And as Neha said, you will also continue to see me here at the board meetings voicing what we need for Easton. Thank you.
Thank you, Preet.
Next speaker is Sharad Sarwal.
Good evening, respected members of the school board. I want to begin by recognizing the leadership of New Haven Unified School District and express my respect for the difficult work that you do on behalf of our community. However, I'm deeply disappointed in the outcome regarding Matt and Heather's future with Delane Easton. This decision feels like a step backwards for our school, and I urge you to consider the impact it will have on our students, staff, and families. I'm also frustrated with the lack of engagement from Michael. As someone who cares deeply about the district, it's disheartening to see such limited involvement. Similarly, the minimal communication from Patricio. Well, let's be real, at least he's still awake. Let me be clear. This will be board member Shamsa's legacy. You will be remembered for this decision and the consequences it brings to our community. I vow to keep attending board meetings and engaging with each of you because our students deserve nothing less. To those members who are not up to the challenge, I encourage you to step aside and allow someone who is willing to lead, communicate, and advocate for our schools. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Mia, and it looks like Mia, you want to talk about two things, so got your 2 minutes.
This one? Okay. My name is Mia, and I am very disappointed that you got rid of Mr. Harris. When you decided that he will be fired, I don't think you even cared about our voices. Excuse me, but I don't think that anyone is happy that this happened. People come first. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mia.
Next is Darlene Crittenden.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I'd like to say that I'm an employee at Easton Elementary. I'll just say that I respect the decision that you were charged with making today. And I want to say as an employee, I appreciate you thoroughly looking at all of the facts and not being veered off course for what Easton needs. As someone who has worked there 20 years or in this district for 20 years, been at Easton since 2013, I'm very vested in Easton doing well. It's one of my top priorities to make sure my students have the best. I also wanted to say that NHTA just began our bargaining session last Friday with district managers. We have 7 more left. We're hoping that the board will be responsive in helping us move forward so that we can settle our 1-year contract because we'll begin again in the fall for the 3-year contract. Thank you.
Thanks, Darlene.
Next speaker is Michelle Parnella.
I was here a few months ago and addressed the governance team regarding integrity. And integrity is how you behave when you think nobody's watching or listening. And clearly, the Easton parents have let you all know they're watching, they're listening, and they're going to be back. And you guys have energized the community. And so that for that, I appreciate it. And keep it up and stay on their neck. Okay. Stay on their neck. I just want to remind you guys, Board Policy 9000, act with dignity and understanding the implications of your demeanor and your behavior. Board Policy 9005, operate openly with trust and integrity, govern in a dignified and professional manner, treating everyone with civility and respect. Some of the things that the Easton parents have shared with me as a former trustee with their questions and whatnot, embarrassing, really embarrassing. To read emails that some of you would rather be at home returning to your life. Trustee Gonzalez, you got an opportunity to return to your life when you moved to Hayward. Go for it. Return to your life. It's embarrassing. Do better.
Thanks, Michelle.
Those are all of the blue cards off the agenda. Do we have any speakers on Zoom? Okay, we have 1 speaker for a topic on the agenda. Stan Huang.
Hi, thank you for your time, board. Appreciate it. I saw that there was a resolution on the agenda to dismiss some certified employees. I'm not qualified to say what we should do as far as positions are concerned, or how this came about. I don't know why. I would like to kind of get more information on to find out why, if it's a budget cut or if it's like a need cut. I think I can share from a personal side that I don't support taking services away from students. Like when I look at who's on that list, it's, secretaries, an HVAC technician, a counselor, a program manager for EL, campus monitors. These are all people that help our kids and ensure their safety, that make sure that they're connected and that they're thriving in schools. I don't know if there's another cut here. I hope there is. And I know you guys have to make tough decisions. I respect that. Sometimes it's going to be that this is the way it is. And I get that. But I was hoping that there is an alternative way. I don't know the answer. So I didn't really come up here to tell you how to do your jobs. I do want to ask for if there's any way for these to be somehow reversed or changed, because having a safe environment is super important to me at all sites, especially because, I have kids that go to Logan. I have a para son that's working at Logan, and I have another that's at Hillview Crest. So I know the kind of kids that are coming through, and I know kind of what I think we need. We need a safe environment. We've had graffiti, we've had fights, we've had vandalism, things like that. We need more security and support on site. I look at some of these people as, they're helping students, families, community resources. And that's not the area that I would, as a community member, would like you guys to cut. So again, if there's anything we could do to stop that, that's great. And I know that the lowly secretary, I think there's 3 of them on this list. They're great at support. They're great at helping the kids, helping them through their efficiency. Sorry, beeping. And then I'll just say one more thing. Just the enrichment that I think that this list of employees and full-time employees helps our students with, I think is invaluable. So that's what I'd like to say, and I appreciate the time.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Okay, so so now Labor Partners report, CEA President report. We don't have, okay. NHTA President report.
Good evening, President Raffay, board trustees, Dr. Thompson, members of the community here and at home. My name is Gavin Smith, and I am an NHTA Executive Board member. And tonight I'm speaking on behalf of NHTA President Shane Henderson, who could not be here due to a family commitment. This time of year is difficult across our district, with pink slips going out and tough decisions being made about programs and people. Many educators are experiencing uncertainty and stress. During times like this, it is important that we check in on our colleagues and support one another, because the well-being of our educators directly impacts the well-being of our students. Over the past few weeks, Shane has visited 8 of our 13 school sites and has spoken with dozens of educators. What we heard again and again is something we all know. Our teachers and staff are deeply committed to their students and to the success of this district. Even during uncertain times, they continue to show up every day, ready to support our young people. I'd also like to recognize the New Haven Schools Foundation Gala that was held on February 21st. It raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for classroom projects and student scholarships. It's a powerful reminder that our community believes in and supports public education. With NHTA, our committees continue working to strengthen our schools. Our Political Action Committee is interviewing candidates seeking union endorsement to ensure they support students, educators, and public education. So if anybody in our community here or listening, if they are interested in being interviewed, please reach out to Shane Henderson. Our bargaining team also met with district management on Friday, the 27th, to begin discussions around the issue of class size and leaves. These conversations matter because the conditions under which educators work are the conditions under which students learn. Our organizing committee recently held a successful Day of Visibility event where educators connected with parents and community members. We will continue this effort on March 20th with Signs of the Times, where educators across the districts will stand together in support of fair bargaining and the resources our students deserve. I also want to highlight the importance of stable education funding through measures like Proposition 55. If this funding is allowed to sunset, California could lose 1 in 6 teachers by 2030. This kind of loss would dramatically increase class size and reduce support for students across our schools. Stable funding matters. Supporting educators matter. Strong schools require partnerships between this board, educators, and our community. Thank you for your time and thank you to the educators, staff, and community members who continue to stand up for our students and our schools.
Thank you. Now, Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning, Stevens, will provide a mid-year local control accountability plan. This is last year? What happened?
It's the second one.
Oh, okay. So presentation, we will hear a presentation from Fiscal Services.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Kevin Franklin, Assistant Superintendent of Business Services. So again, good evening, Superintendent Thompson, Board of Trustees. I'm here to present our second interim budget update. Feels like it was only a few days ago that I presented the first interim. It's been about 3 months, and so not a lot has actually changed as far as our budget goes. But I will go into the few details of what those changes are and what we're looking forward to as we go into developing our budget over the next couple of months. So again, the second interim is building off of the first interim budget update. So first interim was expenditures through October 31st. This is now utilizing all of our expenditures through January 31st and us projecting those out for the rest of the school year. So this is the budget cycle. We're kind of right on the back half of the cycle going into budget development. And so this is our last update before our estimated actual timeframe when we build our budget. So going into the details of the update, again, this first column for the current fiscal year, nothing has changed in that first column. Where you start to see the changes are in the second and third, at least under that fiscal year label. So what you see is the funded COLA has dropped. I think last year or last time I presented, we were at 3.02% for the COLA. We're now down to 2.41. That's calculated in statute. We get the final numbers for what the COLA will be in May when the governor releases his May revise. I think those final numbers come in April. So they kind of have an idea around then, and then it's solidified in May. And then in the third year out for 27-28, that COLA figure has gone down from 3.42 to 3.06%. So we've made those adjustments in our multi-year projection as far as the revenues go. As far as our enrollment in ADA, we're looking at still the same enrollment, using the same enrollment figures from our CBEDS data, 9,946. This is a decrease from last year. Last year, we were over 10,000 students in enrollment. We've only had a slight change and adjustment for our funded ADA, went down by about 1 ADA, so not a significant impact at all. And then we've made the appropriate adjustments to the COLA on those out years to adjust the revenue accordingly. This is what the revenue calculation looks like for this year, taking into account those slight adjustments that I just mentioned on the previous slide. Otherwise, our LCFF funding looks relatively similar to what I presented a couple of months ago. Our projections for the next 3 years. So we have to have always a 3-year budget. We're always working on the 2 out years and maintaining a 3% reserve level. And so that's on the unrestricted side only. All of the restricted dollars do not count towards our reserve percentage calculation. So we're required to have a 3% reserve. And so that you can see on the line that says reserve for economic uncertainties. That's that 3% required reserve level. And so in the middle, you can see what our current year ending balance is projected to be for all of those years. We are deficit spending, meaning we are spending more than the revenues that we are bringing in on an annual basis. So we're, over the next 3 years, we are kind of eating into that savings account, and that is getting reduced at about $6 to $7 million a year at our current levels of spending. So you can see how that impacts the budget over those 3 years, and this does not take into account anything that we just spoke about as far as bargaining goes from this past Friday. So what are the reminders? Our ending balances that you see there, those should be treated as one-time funds. Those are static savings account, essentially dollars that we have to spend. It's not ongoing in nature. We're still experiencing declining enrollment. So last year we had that slight increase in enrollment. We're continuing to decline. That was confirmed with our most recent demography report. So we're utilizing those figures and doing a bit of analysis with what our current enrollment trends are. And we're updating enrollment based on that. But we are still currently projected to decline even with the expansion of transitional kindergarten. And then we are currently bargaining for 26-27. So of course, these numbers may change when it comes to budget, depending on any kind of settlement that we may have going into this summer. And next steps. So we just completed the second interim that you are all approving this evening. We're waiting for the governor's May revise. So he released his budget in January. There was some positive news in his budget, mostly to the tune of one-time dollars that he's projecting to provide settle up funds to school districts for next year. It looks like those funds are actually going to be significantly increased come May, but we don't know how much that will increase and how much the governor's willing to provide. So there's a lot of nuances that we have to take into account. However, we are not able to utilize any of those one-time dollars in the development of our budget. We can only add those into our budget once the governor has put pen to paper and signed off on that budget in June. And unfortunately, he doesn't sign the budget usually until the end of June. So we develop our budget by June 16th and have that approved in our June board meetings. And so all of that is built based off of the May revise. And typically the county will only allow us to input the calculated COLA, and typically they will not allow us to have the one-time dollars built in. They'll ask us to have a couple of different multi-year projections, one with and one without those dollars, since there's no certainty to those actually materializing. Estimated actuals, as I mentioned, are done at the same time as the development of the budget, and then the budget is approved at the June 16th board meeting. Any questions about the second interim? Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Next is the district's home to school transportation plan. This is an information item only, no board action is required. And item 10B, are there any items from board and superintendents? Trustee, Student Gonzalez.
Okay. Hi, everyone. As always, I just want to say thank you so much for coming out and, taking it upon yourself to come and speak out for what you feel really true about. And yeah, I think that power of voice is one that's super powerful. So, of course, thank you for coming out. Just very short and simple. We've appointed our ASB executive cabinet, and last week was our class cabinet election. It's currently commissioner election week, and we'll be having that vote this Friday. Skit prep is in full swing, with Skit being the week of March 23rd through the 27th. And our 2026 prom theme has already been announced. It's Golden Gala, and it's Great Gatsby inspired, and it'll be held at the San Francisco Galleria. And then some, out of leadership announcements. Logan will be having a job/community expo next Tuesday, March 10th. It's third period through fifth period, and over 40 organizations, a mix of employers, military, nonprofits, higher education, will all be in attendance. And I look forward to next week's Celebration of Schools event. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Kumar.
I have no major updates.
Thank you. Trustee Gonzalez.
I have no major updates.
Trustee Irby.
Yes, February 20th, we hosted the NCS North Coast section in wrestling for the first time in 10 years. We sent 3 wrestlers, one of which I believe placed first, and another 3 wrestled for third place. This is the best showing for James Logan High School in 10 years. The 27th, I participated in the League of Women Voters at Newark Memorial High School, where they were registering voters for the upcoming primary and the November elections. That will be coming to James Logan High School on Thursday, March 12th. On the 26th, I participated at the open house at the New Haven Academy. It was a wonderful presentation by Ms. Coatson, her principal, and her staff. It really is an amazing program going on at the New Haven Academy, and I'm hoping to see it expand at the elementary level. There was currently one class of TK 5 students. That was really amazing. They were doing really amazing work. And I just want to reiterate what NHA member Gavin Sis mentioned. Being a former teacher, from February to the end of March to spring break, it's a long stretch. And it's really difficult sometimes to give grace to each and every one of our members, not just teachers, but our classified staff members and our site administrators who are under a lot of stress. You know, I know one office manager who actually walked off the job and who's looking for employment in another district. So please give grace where you can. Thank you.
Trustee Freeburg.
I have a few updates to share this evening. First, I want to share that I recently attended the CSBA Masters in Governance courses 1 and 4. These sessions focused on the foundations of governance and human resources and collective bargaining have been incredibly valuable. They reinforce our responsibility as a board to ensure that all personnel processes are handled with the highest standards of integrity, transparency, and strict adherence to district policy. I've also spent time these past few weeks connecting with our community, including both staff and parents. I have heard their concerns clearly, and I am committed to ensuring those perspectives are represented and we are held accountable to the standards our community expects. On that note, I have a minor correction for Gavin. I'm sorry to do this. I think the gala raised between 60 or 80K. However, I think the foundation as a whole has provided almost $250,000 in scholarships. And I wanted to give out a special shout out to the New Haven School Foundation. Their impact on our campuses is tangible and inspiring. Most recently, they funded a powerful field trip for the Black Students Union from both Logan High School and IVC Middle School to travel to the San Francisco Presidio to learn about the history and legacy of the Buffalo soldiers who were laid to rest there. Beyond these cultural experiences, the foundation continues to equip our classrooms with the tools our teachers need. I want to highlight that their grants have recently provided items such as 3D printers, ergonomic chairs, and adjustable tables for our educators. The New Haven Schools Foundation does so much to bridge the gap between our district's goals and our students' needs. I encourage our community to continue to support the foundation so they can continue this vital work. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Freeburg. So I would like to thank all the parents and the students for the advocation for the Eastern principal. And I'm honored to serve as a trustee of our school district. This responsibility requires integrity, independence, and a clear commitment to doing what is in the best interest of students, even when the decision is difficult. After careful consideration and deliberation of the district's findings and investigations, I have decided to support a change in leadership at Eastern. My decision is grounded in the information presented and seriousness of the concerns reviewed, and my responsibility to ensure that our schools remain student-focused, accountable, and aligned with district expectations. This was not an easy vote. I want to acknowledge the tremendous support and that Mr. Harris has received. A petition signed by over 300 parents and 26 teachers speaks volumes about the relationship he has built with the care many families feel he has shown. That level of community support does not go unnoticed. I also heard from Ms. Mariam Aziz about how Mr. Harris arranged for students who were fasting to spend lunch in her room. As a Muslim parent, I understand personally how challenging fasting can be for children while surrounded by peers who are eating. That gesture reflects thoughtfulness and cultural awareness, and I respect that deeply. It is precisely because relationships matter that this decision weighs heavily. Respect for an individual's strength, however, does not remove our responsibility to address documented findings and ensure consistent leadership standard across the
President
district.
Rafi, point of order. This is a closed session item. I don't think we should be discussing.
Is it? All right. Thank you, Trustee Kumar. Committee reports. Do we have? Anyone with committee, anyone like to share? Nothing? Thank you. Adopt. Is there a volunteer to read a resolution 052-2526, Arab American History Month?
Certainly.
Thank you, Trustee Irby.
New Haven Unified School District Board of Education Resolution number 052-2526, Arab American Heritage Month, April 2026. Whereas the New Haven Unified School District is committed to fostering inclusive, equitable, and culturally responsive learning environments that honor the diversity of its students, families, and staff. And whereas April is nationally recognized as Arab American Heritage Month, providing an opportunity to acknowledge and celebrate the history, culture, and contributions of Arab Americans to the United States. And whereas the Arab Americans have contributed significantly to the advancement of this nation in fields including education, science, medicine, business, public service, arts, and civic leadership. And whereas Arab Americans represent a culturally and religiously diverse community, and members of this community have at times experienced discrimination, bias, and harmful stereotyping. And whereas public education plays a vital role in promoting understanding, respect, and inclusion, and in preventing bullying and harassment through education and awareness. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the governing board of the New Haven Unified School District hereby recognizes April 2026 as Arab American Heritage Month, and be it further resolved that the district reaffirms its commitment to providing safe, inclusive, and supportive school environments for Arab American students and families. And be it further resolved that the schools are encouraged to incorporate age-appropriate instructional activities and programs during the month of April that highlight the history, culture, and contributions of Arab Americans. Passed and adopted by the governing board of the New Haven Unified School District, County of Alameda, State of California, this third day of March, 2026, by the following vote.
May I have a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. May I have a motion and second to adopt resolution number 053-2526, reduce or eliminate classified services?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. May I have a motion and second to adopt resolution number 054-256, certified reduction or discontinuance of particular kinds of services?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. May I have a motion and second to approve non-reemployment of temporary certificated employees?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. May I have motion and second to approve 2025-26 second interim report, including first interim TRCs and updated multi-year projections for 26-27 and 27-28.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. May I have a motion and second to approve affiliation agreement with the University of San Francisco?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. May I have a motion and second to approve memorandum of understanding with ACES 2025-26?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Are there any items on which trustees have questions or need clarification or would like to pull from the separate vote from consent agenda item 13? Yes, Trustee Kumar?
Item Q, please.
Right. Thank you. Right. Thank you. So may I have a motion and second to approve consent agenda item 13A through 13 P and 13 R through 13 AO?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion pass. Abstentions? And discussion? Motion passes. Thank you. And it is an opportunity to discuss the vote on items pulled from the consent agenda for separate vote.
Thank you,
Trustee Kumar,
President
would you
Rafe.
like to-
I just had a few questions, excuse me, from Ms. Stevens. So on the June 18th board meeting, we talked about Cognity and we talked about how it was a pilot program and we were trying it with the ICL group. And we talked about how we would get feedback from teachers on how it's going. So I had a few questions around the contract. So first off, did we get the feedback? And in general, are you able to share how it went? Because I didn't ask for that information explicitly, I guess, so we didn't get it.
Sure, my mic is working. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
So the contract originally that was in place included 3 parts.
Mhm.
That we develop an Earth and Space course at James Logan. We provided PD for 8th grade science teachers, as well as biology
Mhm.
and chemistry teachers. And then we also added student access to a set of licenses for supplemental support. So the contract that we want to move forward right now is to engage in a second year of professional development for our teachers as well as the student access. To your question in terms of feedback from staff, we have collected that after each and every professional development that we offered, and it's been very positive
Okay.
in terms of looking at common assessments, articulation from 8th grade through chemistry. We've been monitoring student academic progress with that as well, and it's been showing promising results.
Okay.
So that's why we want to continue another year.
Right. That sounds great. And then I saw there were 4 quotes in the contract. Which one are we doing? 1, 2, 3, or 4?
Right, we put the whole
Right.
proposal out there, so there were many options to look at multi-year commitments, where my recommendation is to commit to one more year
Mhm.
and analyze whether those student licenses are further needed,
Mhm.
as well as the professional development, whether we want to provide that for the teachers beyond next school year. So I'm recommending one more year of the student access to the supplemental resources and licenses, as well as the professional development for our staff.
So that's what's referenced as code one,
Is option one.
option one, and
Yes,
I think it's called,
yes.
okay,
Mhm. For
okay,
approximately 70,000.
right.
Yes.
And code three included grade seven, right? No, does code one also include the seventh grade?
At this point, we are trying to finish the first
First,
cohort.
okay.
To think about the expansion possibly to other middle school grade levels, including 6 and 7.
That's great, yeah, because as an educator, and I know we have some high school math educators here, it starts in the elementary school, so it's great to be looking at that. Yeah, those were my questions. Thank you. Thank you, President Rafay.
Thank you, Trustee Kumar. May I have a motion and second to approve consent agenda item 13Q?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Discussion? Roll call, please.
Student Member Gonzalez,
Aye.
Kumar,
Aye.
Gonzalez,
Aye.
Irby,
Aye.
Freeburg,
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Any, item number 15, governance review. Any comments from the trustees regarding the governance? Seeing none. Item 16, board member consensus are the board trustee requests for staff. Seeing none. And there being no further business, this meeting is adjourned at 7:45. Thank you. Thanks, Ray.